making this short video for my train channel. I'm showing the radios I use when I'm train spotting on the Victorian Railway network with V-Line and Pacific National around the networks. Now these radios are the Belfan UV5R model. This one's called the UV5R3. This one's the UV5RE. They're both the same radios. This one's more powerful, and this one can pick up the, I think it was 970. This one pick up a frequency up to 975 megahertz. The other one goes up to 500 megahertz. Let me just check that on the back of the thing. It goes up to 520 megahertz. These can pick up the V-Line driver's frequency band or the conductor frequency band. I've actually got a few shots I'm going to splice into this video showing this picking up the conductor radio. And if you watch my Pacific National grain train video here, this pick up the Pacific National goods train. The frequency I got coded into both these radios at the Southern Cross station is the top one. The top one, the LCDs. The top one is Southern Cross station. The bottom one is the conductor. What I found out yesterday, I didn't know, the top one not only picks up Southern Cross station, but also picks up the Pacific National shunting frequency at the same time. These would pick up the Melbourne Yarra trams as well, but I'm not sure what the frequency is for the Yarra tram network. And if I did, there is a page about what shows the frequencies on there, but I'm not sure if it's illegal not to listen to the trams. I'm going to have to ask my friend who works on the Yarra tram if it's alright to listen. It's alright to listen to V-Line and Pacific National, but it's not. But it's illegal to talk over the band, the railroad band. But it's not illegal to listen in. I think I'm the first rail fan in Australia to do this with radio. Now, both these radios are tuned in to the trains. Picking up their frequency now, actually, to be honest. But because I'm not actually that far from Southern Cross station, I'm actually probably about half a mile away from Southern Cross station. But these radios will use a train spot. I will show some video footage on this video showing it picking up the V-Line. But I don't ever talk on the railroad band. No, and I can transmit on these. If I press this button here, it would transmit on the railroad band. I never will do that with these radios. I do have a frequency set on this radio where it's a private frequency for my radio where I can chat to each radio, and I will demonstrate that on camera. Took me about 10 minutes to find it. One set. Now in certain countries in the world, these actually are banned in certain countries like Germany. And that, in certain countries, you need to have a license to use these. But for listening, you don't need a license. And I asked a policeman here on the phone the other day, South Melbourne Police Station, about these radios. You don't need a license to use these in Australia. But if I show you this, if I talk on this, press the button, this one, you can hear me come. Hang on a minute. Now it should work. You need me come through the transmitter on this one. You can hear me come through on that one as well if I've got the volume up. That you should hear me. And you can hear me come through on this one as well. Like I said, I could transmit on the V-Line if all you wanted, but it's illegal, just I'm not going to do that. But if I ever get a job in V-Line as a conductor, that's when I will show these radios properly working. Because these would be, the proper test would be if I went to V-Line, how good these work in an all-day situation, because that would be the only best way to test if I got a job in V-Line, because this would be a perfect test for these radios. These are similar to what the V-Line conductors and shunters use on the train, but they don't use Belfan radios. I'm not sure what they use, but they use similar ones to handhelds like this with the buttons. Now I have the special software on my computer to program these, because I found the V-Line bands on eBay. No, not eBay, on the internet I should say. But the site I looked at had the frequencies listed wrong. The channel was for the V9 was I'm not going to mention, was listed under as New South Wales. But when I coded in, actually works in Victoria. And the Southern Cross feature also works for the Pacific National Shunting as well. So I picked it up yesterday. STY Train Spot, I think his channel name is. I can't remember what the other boy's channel name's called. But we both were there filming, or there was a filming there, we picked up Pacific National. And they said, you want me to slow down at the C-Boss so they can take photos if it was over these radios. Now, I'm not sure if he was talking to the shunter, or he knows me having these radios and he was chatting to see if he was talking to me, and I'm not sure. But I'll never chat back on the radio anyway, because I only listen on these radios. They also pick up the CB band, they're scanners actually, these radios. But I'm going to end this video and then I'll slice in some footage after this shot, showing this radio picking up the trains. Actually, I'll come back for a short. I thought to mention something. One of my viewers asked me, why do I have two radios on user? When you're at Southern Cross Station, they have two, or maybe about three frequency bands. They have Metro, V9 Southern Cross, and V9 Conductor, and the goods frequency. You only can listen to one thing at a time on these radios, or I know, two things at a time. But when you listen to the Conductor things, and I'm going to say sometimes when you have those both going, one will backfeed and it will stop you from listening to the other one when it transmits. So I have two, so one set to the Southern Cross and one set to the Conductor. When the Southern Cross transmits, I hear it on one radio and then the Conductor on the other, and I'm watching departures. So that's how I got, because when I had the both on, I couldn't hear both, because when one, I missed a couple of things without it, except for both to listen to two channels at once. So I used two separate radios for that type of filming. But now in this video, slicing some footage of these radios picking up the trains.
Got you overland, I'm going to pass off ART. That's your first line there, sir. Thanks very much for your services. We'll catch you next time. No worries, have a good one. Number one. Number one receiving. Yeah, I believe we're ready to try and escape. Yeah, Roger, the train examiner still hasn't called me to give me the ride back, so I'll try to call him. Alright.
That radio call.